because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to, I don't dislike George Washington. I don't dislike even some of the most racist people in history. But I want to know their history, but I also want to know not only that, you know, hey, they were whatever, but I also want to know about the Shirley Chisholms. I also want to know about the Frederick Douglass. And not even Nat Turner. I want to know more about Nat Turner than him just being some revolutionary. I want to know the Nat Turner that was out in the fields. I want to know the Nat Turner that grew up as a kid. I don't want to know just the narrative. You know, tuned in to Urban Conservative. 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 Tuned in to Urban Conservative.
Q9, my food time, hold it up and smoke it. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for.
It's madness, yo. All the things that we could talk about.
Call it.
But let's talk about these urban circumstances real quick.
And basically, it's
we got this.
So,
revolutionary.
Frosty hand. Muhammad is the famed name, forever stand.
Standing on royal fusing of justice for the few, ridiculed by the pale terrorists bent on genocidal obsession, rooted in fear of neglection and abandonment, fueled by nightmares of ancestors' jealousy.
Because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington.
The kind of friends I think our friends should be like my friends. My friends are the kind of friends I think everyone needs. My friends see the things at times I don't see. My friends hate the police.
What has changed?
Are deemed the criminals, and the blacks are deemed the criminals.
Shut up and help.
Reflection ain't nothing but the inner child trying to see you. You gonna look? You gonna pick up that book?
Lord, keep me far from the faith. Guide me through night and day. Teach me your ways. Show me the righteous way to sway. Lord, can you teach me, please? Show me the way, I'd say. Grand rising. Good afternoon. It's your boy Chaz. Sounding way better today than I was sounding Monday. I'm blessed for that. Yeah, I already know how I start off the show, man. I'm gonna start off with some I know I'm sounding really shitty. I'm gonna start off with some Lizen and Robin Thicke. You know, I've been in the hospital for about 3 weeks, so we're gonna kick it off right. With some Lizen and going back to the 80s and 90s. We ain't dead yet, baby. We ain't dead yet.
Keep on putting up with basic. Keep on falling for the same shit. Why do I keep on contemplating leaving you? Don't want no one else to have you. Why do I see a lot of faces, but honestly I don't ever wanna replace. Why do I keep on putting up with basic? Keep on falling for the same shit. I do.
Why do I put up with the game? I keep thinking that you change. Same old thing. Why? You be lying to my face when when we get to touching hands, focus, you do something to me. Why do I keep on coming back when I know you hurt me? Gotta break the cycle, tell me why. It's hard to see the truth that you're looking for me. Somebody tell me why.
Keep on putting up with basic. Keep on falling for the same shit. Why do I keep on contemplating leaving you? Don't want no one else to have you. Why do it's all the time that I let you go? But seeing you with someone else gon' break my soul. So I keep asking and begging and hoping and praying that you do change and get back to how it was when we first met and stay the same.
Somebody tell me why.
Keep on putting up with basic. Keep on falling for the same shit. Why do I keep on contemplating leaving you? Don't want no one else to have you. Why do I see a lot of faces, but honestly I don't ever wanna replace it.
Why do I
keep on putting up with basic? Keep on falling for the
same thing, baby? Oh, la, 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 la. Ooh, la, 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 la. Ooh, la, 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 la. Why?
I do. It's all the time that I let you go. But seeing you with someone else gon' break my soul.
Who said real R&B dead? Who said real R&B is dead? It's your boy, the urban conservative. You know, no, I ain't sounding right. I got a little brain bleed and minor stroke. I really don't. I'm not remembering a lot of shit. I got to get up to my kids. Shit, fighting another day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still here. I'm still here. I mean, my with a brain bleed and a minor stroke, I'm still here. So what's your excuse? Why you don't want to learn? You know, and I know I reached out to, shout out to Pro 2Cal too as well. If you don't follow, please do. PRO whoops. PRO 2KALL. Pro 2Cal. Please go follow. He's got a debate tonight with some Democrats. And I really feel like, you know, we're way past the political point in this, right? Most of us became awoke, you know, started to, you know, put the things that we learned into, what can I say? Put things into, I'm probably not the best person right now, but literally being the person to, you know, literally I talk about Sir Major, you know, I talk about the black church, the actually not even, let's not even talk about race right now, let's just talk about church. I talk about the church, and you know, I talk about all this fraudulent ass behavior going from the churches to nonprofits to, you know, people feel like, you know, they're feeding their future, and then you know, the Abdullah Saids and the Marissas and the Royces and the Don Samuels and the Juliuses are new people. They're not. You know what's crazy is that we'll always have a Royce. We'll always have a me. We'll always have a Marissa. We'll always have political agendas, right? That's not something that we're going to get rid of, is political aspirations, political No, but we're not. It's just, let's face it. But I wanted to awake the conscious mind from Kenya to Minneapolis, right? And I know a lot of people haven't heard what's going on in Kenya, and I want to change that. You know, I want to. Why are we talking about Kenya? Why? You know, I know there's such a there's such a you know what's crazy is I don't even know what to say. You know, it's wild to me that people aren't talking about it. There's a lot going on when it comes to, you know, Kenya. They're throwing down yeah, that's open. Goddamn. That's no, I didn't want to read that. I don't want to read books on Ranger. But June 25th, why are, you know, I never don't understand all this. You know, hold on. Troops going from Kenya to Port Ada. The print, you see that in the background is Kenya. But I wanted to show it a whole nother part of like why we are involved in other countries. It's always to do with somebody else. It's never to do with us. And I want to
on the need for us to make more concessions. And because I run a government, but I also lead people, and the people have spoken, I am grateful to all the members of the National Assembly who voted yesterday affirmatively for the Finance Bill 2024 as amended on the floor of the House to incorporate the views generated through public participation. And following the passage of the bill, the country witnessed widespread expression of dissatisfaction with the bill as passed, regrettably resulting in the loss of life, destruction of property, and disintegration of constitutional institutions. On my own behalf, and on behalf of these members and many other Kenyans, I send my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate manner. Consequently, having reflected on the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn. And I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position. Accordingly, there is need for us as a nation to pick up from here and go into the future. And I am therefore proposing that because we have gotten rid of the Finance Bill 2024, it is necessary for us to have a conversation as a nation going forward.
going forward, why is it always a conversation, right? Why is it always
It has become evident that members of the public
that we're always has to be the bigger person? Why is it that we, the people, always have to be the bigger person? And I will never, 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 to this day, I will never understand that of why do we always have to be the bigger person? And I sit there and I think, right? I sit there and 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 I think, right? And it's why do we as Black people, and I want to get into something about Minneapolis a little bit, and we'll go back to Kenya later. And damn, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, I should have realized. I want to show what Minneapolis. I'm gonna play this a little bit of. Yeah, this is the part I want to back up so people understand what I'm about to show you is last night, and before I tagged Reverend Tim Christopher in this for a reason. We're gonna get to that a little bit because I did go to, I put on some of his video as well. Last night I was watching this on you know what? Just never mind.
Of grabbing for it. We are saying that the contract is a viable tool. It has not been used. We got 22% wage increases. We do not have proportional benefits. The fact that it is so uneven shocks the conscience. And we are saying that this contract and the way it is proposed to be funded doesn't meet the community standards that we want. We, Minneapolis for Better Police contract, along with many of our endorsers, are calling for you to vote down this tentative agreement and send it back to mediation.
Thank you.
I just want to say,
Chair,
sorry, Vice
Madam
Chair.
Chair, people have been waiting 2.5 hours to speak.
Vice Chair, I need you to
They
not
will
interfere.
get 2 minutes when they do.
Vice Chair, you are
and
not the
let's adhere
chair.
to this 30 minutes.
Vice Chair, you are not the chair of this meeting. I will remind you to please adhere to decorum. We already set a presentation. You just interrupted our presenter. If you do that again, I will ask the clerks to turn your mic off because we literally have went through this process.
I'd like us to all adhere to the time allotted.
We have already communicated that. I need you to step back into your role. Thank you.
Thank you. I will end with this. If you go to the city's dedicated webpage for the police contract, you will see that it says, if the city council does not approve the contract, it will move back to mediation. That is key. If it goes back to mediation and it's done right, it still comes back to you. It still goes back to the Police Federation for members to vote on. So there is a chance to improve this contract. And I will just say, I appreciate that when people don't like the arguments that we're making, we get called names or we get shut down. But I really see that all of you have been very attentive, and I really want to thank you for that. And Kim and I are available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Stacy. And just to also remind my colleagues in the public, we scheduled this meeting, adjourn meeting from 5 to 8. The captioners will be here to 9 p.m. We will make space for who were signed up here, the city staff, the presenters, the testifiers, and then take up the item. So with that said, we can open up for discussion. If there's any questions, I will check the queue. I don't see any. Oh, we're Jeremy. Councilmember Ellison.
I did press the button, but it just takes a minute to travel to everyone's computers. I just wanted to thank you for the presentation and you know, you all being very engaged in this process. We're interested. We're about to have a public hearing, and we're interested in what members of the public have to say about this contract. You know, we deal with a whole host of issues, hundreds of issues per agenda, and so we kind of have to be these broad experts that kind of understand things as best as we can. But members of the public also have a tremendous amount of insight in a lot of these topics, and so I wanted to thank you all for that, and just make sure that your presentation was appreciated, and also just say that, you know, I did want to avoid some kind of bizarre back and forth, but I am interested in other members of the public coming in presenting, especially if the chair's motion to have a second public hearing is allowable and moves forward. I think it's completely appropriate to have other members with different views come and present before the council. And so just wanted to make sure that my colleague, Councilmember Palmisano, knows that while I didn't want to make amendments to this agenda, I am more than happy to have those other presentations at other agendas, as well as the percentages that we just had. So thank you all, and I don't have any questions.
Thank you. And I just want to say we're 100% in support of other groups supporting, whether they support our view or not. Again, this is what makes democracy work.
Awesome. And then I do want to let my colleagues know that I already sent out prior communications to you all about how to get on the agenda for July 8th. That deadline has passed, but we do have additional groups who have signed up for July 8th, as you mentioned. So I look forward to those presentations. And with that, I will ask the clerks to receive and file. Oh, sorry. I saw council. You're good? Okay. Thank you. I will ask the clerks to receive and file that presentation. With that, I will actually propose just about a 3-minute recess as we go, unless folks want to press through for public comment. All right, cool. Some of y'all be acting tired sometimes during these long meetings, so we can transition into the public comment period. Once again, if you have not signed up, you can come and sign up with the clerks here. I believe on the first floor, there is also staff there who are signing up folks. We have about a little, no? Okay, I heard. All right, I misheard from the security staff. All right, then. Well, you have to come up here to sign up. So first, we do have, and I'm going to apologize for mispronunciations already. We have Reverend Ian Bethel, which we have the clock here too. Each testifier would get 2 minutes. And please feel free to step forward.
Madam Chair, and to all of these illustrious council persons, I'm Ian Bethel, Senior Pastor, New Beginnings Baptist Ministry, South Minneapolis. I'm also the chair of the Unity Community Mediation Team, which on the city's website does have our memorandum of understanding. My dear, a great presentation. It covers everything in the MOU, but we're not here today to talk about the MOU. What we're here today is to have
well, bring it up then.
Communications director and also one of our directors, Tim Scott, and we have the Young People's Task Force here. We've been working on this issue now for more than 20 years. People have died, gone on. And I'm glad you call me Ian Bethel, because I never called myself Reverend.
He called you Reverend. She called you Reverend.
We have sat with the Minneapolis Police Department in the past 3 years and have updated the original agreement we had.
I want to go back just.
Again, this is what makes democracy work.
Tired sometimes during these long meetings, so we can transition into the public comment period. Once again, if you have not signed up, you can come and sign up with the clerks here. I believe on the first floor, there is also staff there who are signing up folks. We have about a little, no? Okay, I heard. All right, I misheard from the security staff. All right, then. Well, you have to come up here to sign up. So first, we do have, and I'm going to apologize for mispronunciations already. We have Reverend Ian Bethel, which
I want to. That's where I want to stop this because, again, Reverend Ian Bethel. So again, where at 228:52 she calls him Reverend Ian Bethel.
We have the clock here too. Each testifier would get 2 minutes, and please feel free to step forward.
Madam Chair, and to all of these illustrious council persons, I'm Ian Bethel, Senior Pastor, New Beginnings Baptist Ministry, South Minneapolis. I'm also the chair of the Unity Community Mediation Team, which on the city's website does have our memorandum of understanding. My dear, a great presentation. It covers everything in the MOU, but we're not here today to talk about the MOU. What we're here today is to have our communications director and also one of our directors, Tim Scott, and we have the Young People's Task Force here. We've been working on this issue now for more than 20 years. People have died, gone on. And I'm glad you call me Ian Bethel, because I never call myself Reverend, never call myself Pastor.
Right.
And we have sat with the Minneapolis Police Department.
Called you Reverend.
In the past 3 years and have updated the original
called you Reverend Ian Bethel
agreement we had with the city and city council that some people said was
Reverend Ian Bethel
gone, but it's back.
But
and we meet
didn't call him a Reverend.
I got it here, the
That's
signature.
crazy.
It's from the Minneapolis Police Department. It's been vetted by the city attorneys. Chief, I thank you, sir, that the work we continue to do and your staff for this city. PCRC, Police Community Relations Council, is where everybody can come once a month and we will get this work done. And to you, sir, we look to see you when we make our report to the city about all of our achievements that we've done together. I'm saying this today, Madam Chair, not reform, transformation. The charter transformation is to approve this contract. That's one step toward where, Ellison, to where we all got to go together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And then number 2, we have Al Flowers, and I'll just read the folks who are also on deck after Al Flowers. We have Tim Peterson and then Greg Blessness.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just here. I'm gonna get my little 2 minutes in because I should get 3% through this. But yeah, no, I ain't gonna go there. But what I want to say is my concern about this. I'm not gonna get into that argument what should pass, but that's not a top priority in the African American community. We got a priority of drugs. We got a priority of us killing each other, and so I'm trying to see what we do. We working with the UCMT, with the police, with the PCRC. We working with those things to move our community forward. If you look in the settlement agreement, everything in there is what Pastor Bethel said in the MOU. If you look at it, when you talk about Black and Native people, we the one where we're discriminated against. So we got to build a relationship. We can't get bogged down talking about this. But I'm glad Stacy and whoever that they working on it, that they doing something, that they get something together. But this is our priority. And when I look at it, because we have things like where we got in a county that said we can let our 10 to 13-year-old little Black kids ride in stolen cars and we might not do nothing. We have to figure that out. We live in a county where Zari McKeever, with a Black person stood over her and shot her, and then and they were saying that he should get out. So these are problems that we have, and that we got to work with the city, the county, and state to regroup our community, the African American community. That's what I think about, and just to be here. I'm not going to discourage anybody from do your fight, but our fight is about saving our people from dying, not this right here. And my disappointment in the whole city council, when Juneteenth come around, we didn't get a resolution for Juneteenth in our city, in this city. We didn't get a resolution, and we also didn't get a resolution, Madam Chair, for our good officer, our hero, a Black African American hero, and Jamal Mitchell. I haven't seen it. So that's what I want to say. I'm not here to tear nobody down, but I'm thinking about us and giving us a little more respect.
Thank you,
and this
Al.
one respect right here. You can't speak for us.
All right. Thank you, Al. Next, we have Tim Peterson.
I'd like to reclaim Pastor Bethel's 30 seconds. Thank you, Madam Committee.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not how that works, but you got your 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Committee President and Vice President. I'm Tim Peterson, Ward 13, 15-year veteran of the United States Air Force and the Minnesota National Guard. I'm speaking in favor of voting for the pay raise for the Minneapolis police officers. I'm a board member of the PCRC and the UD Community Mediation Team. We're going to build a relationship with the police force, but also holding them accountable to our core values of this great city. It has been 4 years since the civil unrest. Thankfully, we do not have the same police force that we did then.
Oh, we're damn
While
near
our force
duty,
is not
man.
perfect, they deserve to be recognized
We're
for their
damn
hard
near
work and
doing.
progress. We also need to recognize their sacrifice and the trauma that they endured to bring peace back to our community. What I learned being a leader in the military is that we need folks to be held accountable when they fall short of our core values, but we also need to recognize them when they uphold our core values as example for those that fall short of them. Just like our students, if we keep putting them down, they will never rise up to their full potential. I believe our current police force needs to be built up just like we build up our students. They won't always get it right, but they're making progress. We must not forget our officers are members of our community, and we must build a stronger relationship with them. The entire world is watching. It's our obligation to lead this police reform by example for the country. That's why we need to support not only a raise for these officers, but 5-star recruiting and retention raises every 3 years. Don't believe the extremist lies. Our police are not stormtroopers for the capitalist oligarchy. We literally have the Socialist Rifle Association and the Communist Revolutionaries of America recruiting on our streets, calling for more political violence. We must guard against this with all of our hearts and minds so that the children of the free world can grow and succeed together. Council members that are afraid to vote for this, think of how it felt for Officer Jamal Mitchell to answer calls without a partner. And remember that this vote could prevent another hero from being murdered on our streets. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Tim. Next, we have Greg Hessness, and then Brenda Short on deck, as well as Janet Court.
Good evening, Madam Chair and committee members. Greg Hessness from East Harriet, lifetime Minneapolitan. I also had a 40-year police career. The first 28 years with Minneapolis, last 9 of those were as deputy chief. I went on to serve for 12 years as police chief at the University of Minnesota. I was a member of the negotiation team on behalf of the city of Minneapolis 4 times in collective bargaining agreements with the Federation and a number of times additionally at the university. I rise to speak in favor of the contract. An established labor agreement is not a blank slate. Add or remove items from that collective bargaining, from that agreement requires collective
This
bargaining.
what bugged me the
The
most.
contract proposal
is
before us accomplishes
people,
a number of important
you know, they
things.
wanted to
What might stand
talk
out are the salary
El
increases not
Flowers,
as
Julie
important.
Wickland, blah, blah, blah.
They're falling
Yeah, you
behind
motherfuckers act
compensation.
like they don't know each other. I wanted to speak about this, and I want to speak about it for the simple fact of that I want to get into something further, deeper, right? And it's politics always plays a part, no matter when it comes to our policing, when it comes to our schooling. Don, Mark, I think that what Don wrote is great. I'm really, really trying to digest it. I'm gonna be honest, because of the simple fact of like, damn, a lot of that is hard to read and like fuck. But I want to play Reverend Tim Christopher for a little bit, and then I want to get into what he says.
I'm back. I'm back. Feeling good. Feeling good. Was down in the dumps. And what did Chad say? Damn, Rev, I thought I was looking bad. but letting it grow, man. It takes energy, right? It takes energy I was just been letting it grow. I was just like, I'm not even the hair, bro. Even the hair. I haven't had a haircut in I don't know how long, brother. I don't know how long. But I just been letting it grow, bro. I was like, you know what? I'm not even in the mood. I mean, I like I said, I halfway get up. Right? Energy is the right way. Man, look, bro, man, I can't explain. I don't. I wish it's like I was talking to my neighbors, right? And my neighbors like, man, I have not seen you in I don't know how long, right? Because they brought some stuff over. Their daughter graduated, so they brought over. They had a bunch of stuff left over, so they brought all of this stuff over, and looking at me like, I haven't seen you in I don't know how long. Well, if you have noticed, I've dropped 17 pounds. Number one, and like you said, Chaz, is the energy. You watching? You know, I was watching. Well, you turned me on to that, bro, because I was watching that because all of a sudden I look at one of your tweets, and Pastor Bethel was testifying or whatever. So I hurry up, Chaz, and got on that and start looking at that. Looking at the at that Minneapolis meeting. That's just a bunch of noise. I mean, I don't. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, understood. Yeah, I started watching after I saw your tweet. I jumped on there and started listening to a little bit of that and seeing what was going down, seeing what was happening. Anyway, people, I am okay. I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot better than I was last week. Last week wasn't a good week at all. I even felt good enough to go out and preach 3 sermons to homeless camps this Sunday. Like I said, look, I would rather be out there with those people than even though I love my church, and don't get me wrong, I love the people at my church. I love church, but I've just never been a pulpit preacher, and what I mean by that is just a preacher, and that's all I want to do is stay in the pulpit and give the word. I've just never felt that. I see other preachers who like to run around and swear to God by the pulpit. Oh, I gotta be by the pulpit. I need to be in the pulpit. I mean, we got preachers that get upset because they hadn't preached and I'm like, take my turn, dude. You can go ahead. Because the people that you're preaching to, those people out there, right, are to me not really here to hear the word, but they're here to judge you to see if you're gonna. Because after you're done preaching, everybody likes to come up to you and go, "Oh, you did a good job. You did." I don't need to know. I don't need to hear I did a good job. If I'm giving you God's word and God's word to move you, you don't have to tell me that. But when I go out to the homeless and I'm preaching to those, it's like if Jesus was here today, that's what he would be. Jesus wouldn't be up in no $1 million church. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. That's not where Jesus would be. I'm sure of it because I know the different feeling I get from when I'm walking out of the pulpit and I'm like, "Hey, Miss Aja Smith, how you doing?" But I know the feeling, right? Then when I'm walking out of the pulpit versus when I'm walking, I'm leaving, I'm picking up my little microphone and grabbing my little stand and walking away from giving a service at a homeless camp. It feels good. Good. Well, that's a good thing, young lady. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. But it feels different. And because it feels like I'm home. Because I'm talking to people who really, really, really seriously need it. Right? But I was able to get back out and do that. So that made me feel real good. That made me feel that brought some energy back to me. But as far as everything else goes, just to get somebody was asking about what was going on. I'll throw that out there. I'm still in the process of getting on the kidney list. My kidneys are gone, completely gone, and I'm going through health problems. But I'm still, you know what? Like I said, this weekend was the first weekend I felt good enough to go and talk about the 3V Center. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And I know people sit there, everybody's going, well, why is that important to me? And I'm going to show you why these type of things are important to you guys. And I know you sit there and you live in your little comfortable houses and you live in your little comfortable area and all this here type of stuff. But I'm going to show you, and I want, and this is why I talk to you and try to get you guys to understand that this stuff that goes on, even it's in other places, in other areas, will affect you some way, somehow. It will. And if you don't get it, V3 was all in state money. Yeah, but yep, you're right. It was state money, but somebody funded some of that money too. It wasn't just, a lot. I had a conversation with somebody on that. Well, let's rip it up. Let's get into that. So if you've been following me, you know I went down on Saturday to the new V3 Center. And the way this thing was sold at the beginning, right? The way they rolled this thing out to the black community and the way they sold it to the black community and the way they told the black community that it was going to be what it was going to be is for a place somewhat for black people. And we knew that was a lie, right? I spoke with some of the elders when they was first proposing this, way before they broke ground. And we were saying that site could be used for facility for some of these kids, these wayward kids. That very site, that's what that facility could have been used for. But the powers to be, the white liberals, let's call it what it is. The white liberal Democrats was like, no, they wanted to put this center there because if you go over the bridge, if you go over 94, if you go, you mean zombies. Thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. If you go over the bridge, if you go over to northeast Minneapolis, northeast, go over to northeast where they're building everything. If you go over there, if you have not been to northeast, you need to go over and see what they have done to this place. It's like dude, you go over the bridge into northeast now. It's like a Mecca. You're like, oh my God, this place. They have northeast it's unbelievable over there. Unbelievable what they have done. The high rises they put over there, the bars and everything that they got over in northeast right now. Right? They did it And they're doing it because a lot of white people are moving back down there in that area. Go over Northeast. Go look around. Go see what they've done to this place. If you haven't been over there, seriously, it's worth the trip. There's still construction going on right now. So it's kind of hard to get around, but you can ride your bike over there. Right. So that V3 Center is in a perfect spot. That area is perfect, right? Yeah. Northern Minneapolis, you can't eat on Broadway, right? You can't eat on Broadway, but you can go right over the bridge. Listen to me. He's right. You can't eat on Broadway, but you can go right over the bridge and go to some of the best restaurants in Minneapolis. Okay. There's places you can go in Minneapolis. Northeast right now is the place to be.
Right.
It is, but the center that they built there, I was told point blank, and this is by prominent people in the community, that they were told basically pretty much shut your mouth and do what you're told.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about you, and it ain't got nothing to do with you. That's the word on the street. Because this center is not for Black people.
Thank you. And I wanted to go off what he said. It's not for us. You know what I'm saying? It's not for us. It hasn't been for us. You know, if it was for us, why? And what I mean by us is Black Americans, right? Why? That's what, you know, what's crazy is I was getting ready for this today, and Mark Oliver, you know, I think him and Don all the time, and Rev, you know, I think that's what us young bloods are for. And I think I overextended myself to this day. And even I think it's work smarter, not harder. But how can you work that when people don't want to listen, right? I think about that all the time. It's not about me. It's not about my community. It's not, you know, the crazy thing of it is that people think this is about Marcus. People think this is about Rev. Listen, we're all damn near 50 and are over. Our time is past. This is for future generations. You know, that's the crazy part for me is that, you know, is that people think about, oh, you know, you're doing this and then, no, it's not for me. I know I'm not going to feel nothing. I'm not. It's even like, you know, what's crazy is these resolutions. Literally, I give a fuck about them, y'all. Just so I can see that Red Wing, Minnesota, it's a lie. The rental, everything that I authored, the rental licensing program, the proclaim race, man, it's all bullshit. Right? That's why it was unanimous, because it was bullshit. It wasn't gonna, they knew it wasn't going to help the people. Just like, how are we satisfied with being called nigger, but not them doing anything for Juneteenth? Yeah. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for me proclaiming racism a public health crisis and including that in there, Red Wing wouldn't be doing that. Red Wing wouldn't be doing that. Red Wing wouldn't be doing that because they don't give a fuck about us. And what I mean by us is Black Americans. You know, it's the crazy thing of it is that, you know, people want to, I don't know everything. I never said I did, never said I will, never said I, whatever. I don't know everything, but I do my research. I do my research. And I know that Walls, Frey, none of them, they don't even, when it comes to Black Americans, what I mean by Black American is people that have been in chattel slavery. Chattel slavery, right? Slavery. Ancestors. It's about generational because first of all, It has to be generational. Or something's going to change. And that's simply what we ask for. But that's not what we get when it comes to the reforms, when it comes to the police departments, when it comes to the people. You know, it's like, who the fuck do you trust? Because everybody has their own political agenda. Has their own political agenda. Has their own political plan. You know, that's the thing that I'll never understand is how can you have a plan and get over on your own community? How? I really wonder that. How can people, you know, it's just things like this. The NFL touts experience. This is how I know people they don't care a treatment center, but its license revoked. You know, I sit there and I think about Chasma Dixon, who Shamika Boygan. I think about Jerry McAfee. I think about Ian Bethel. And that's no wonder why we don't ever get any change, because of the simple fact of that people just want to screw us. They want to screw us over because people care more about money than they actually do about making change and making a difference in the communities that they actually say they're from. They don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, they go home. I want people to watch this because no, it's not in the country. This is Oakland, California. Oh my God, I can't. Damn. That's not another country. That's Oakland, California. You know, I sit there and I haven't been, damn, it's been a while. I'm sitting there thinking, and it's been a while. Been a long while since I've been to Minneapolis. You know, people, I can't do it no more. You know, I can't. All I've seen is billions of dollars that are supposed to make dramatic change to my communities. Right? And I'm talking about Rochester, people that I respected, Bud, people like Andre Crockett, and you know, people that say they stand up to a system. Teddy Collins, you know, these are all people that I've one time looked up to. Fuck that. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, now be your own individual, because I'll tell you right now, they don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck unless it's a GoFundMe or they getting paid or getting played. It's not about us. You know, when people are telling you that they're not interested in our political climate, or our political what's going on, yeah, it's time and done and over with. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. This ain't sound like, I don't know. But win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. Have a great day.
Urban conservative.